We have few people joining. I think I'll start the Klaus. So welcome everyone. I'm Lydia, and I'll be your host for today's session. Before we dive in, a couple of housekeeping notes. Drop your question in the chat at any time. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of this session, and we also will share in the recording afterwards. Today, we are going beyond standard solutions. We will show you how Peel.3D enable custom tailored interiors, and we are excited to have Klaus from Velling Teknik with us, who will share how they design custom bound interiors with Peel.3D. By the end, you will be ready to craft something truly unique. So let's get started. To lead today's presentation, I'm pleased to welcome Klaus Christensen from the company Velling Teknik. With extensive experience in the customization of van interiors, Klaus will share how their team uses 3D scanning technology to support the design and development of custom van interiors. So now I'll let Klaus introduce himself.
Well, thank you, and hello, everyone. Yeah, as Livia said, my name is Klaus, and I have a startup business here in the western part of Denmark. So we've been working on different kind of things for the last 4 years, and now we are into van customization.
Perfect, thank you, Klaus. Before we begin, let me quickly walk you through today's agenda. First, Klaus will give a brief introduction to his company and expertise in 3D scanning and reverse engineering. Then we'll drive you into the scan to CAD workflow, covering the key step from data acquisition to creating usable CAD models. After that, we will summarize the main takeaways and best practices. Finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session where we'll be happy to answer any question you may have. So let's get started. First, Klaus, could you share with us a bit about Velling Teknik, what your company does, and how you found your niche in designing custom van interiors?
Yeah, of course. We didn't start out doing van interior. We started out wondering about what you see on the screen now, how so many shops look like this. I've been a machinist for 30 years now, and I have a son that is a blacksmith. And what we both discovered was that so many shops at factories, also at home, look like this. There's no structure. Everything is a mess. Nothing can be found. You don't know where to return it to, so you're always just ending up piling it up on the table, and then you cannot find it, and then you have to buy more tools because you cannot find what you had the other day. So it's a bad way to go. So we started thinking about this and how we can do better. So next slide, Maria. Yeah. After some time after we started founded the company, I got a job on a work construction site where I met a lot of different vans every day from bricklayers and plumbers and carpenters and electricians and so on. And many of them have invested a lot of money in these nice systems from companies that supply and deliver these interior systems. But what I see, or what I saw many times, was what you see on the photos here. It doesn't work. It doesn't function. It doesn't give order to anything. Many of them claim it's a customized van interior, but you can only choose what they have in their catalog. You cannot have what you want or what you need. So we end up with these systems that are made to fit everyone and then doesn't fit anyone. So things on the floor, there's a wasted space and so on. So what we did is that we think we can do better than this. So that's why we got in touch with a company called Kvibor in Denmark that work with the Clairform and sell the scanners and use the scanners. So we got hold of the Peel 3D scanner and scanned a van and then started drawing. And that ended up in this. Is fitted into a small van. It's from Mercedes model C10. I think it's only it's a small size van, but we managed to fit this into a small van that would take a size bigger van to fit in. So it was when we started, we didn't choose from a catalog. We just asked the customer to sit down with us and explain what do we want. And he was kind of confused. Say, can I get anything? You can get anything. So we designed this with the boxes he wanted, with the openings he wanted, with the drawers he wanted. Um, so it was 100% tailor-made, and we can replace every single component or remove or replace every single component. It doesn't take skilled. Uh, you can basically do it yourself with a scanner and then print out drawings and just cut out the pieces yourself. Uh, it is made in 12 millimeter wood. So if when you don't use it, you can just get rid of it without making any pollution. And of course, it's fully flexible for the purpose you need. And how it's done is basically that, as it's shown here with a hammer, that we scan the hammer, and then we do the outline, and then based on that we can extract the parts we need and work on them. So it's just a small three-step solution.
So now we are going to take a closer look at the scan to CAD workflow Klaus uses with Peel 3D Pro CAD and Fusion. Klaus has prepared some videos demonstration to walk us through it. And as we play them, he'll comment on each step to give you practical insight.
So of course, everything starts with a scan. And this is a fairly large scan of illustrated. As you can see, I need a lot of targets. For this purpose, I'm only scanning the left side and a bit of the front. And I use different kind of scanning targets, 3D printed targets. I use magnetic strips, and of course also just the target markers that I put on one place where I need to scan. And you can see I move them around, and I do save money on moving everything around because the targets do cost a little, and it also helps me when I do an entire van. I can just move everything around to save time when I put it in, and I can easily get it out again. So a scan is done fairly quickly.
How long does the entire data acquisition process typically takes, Klaus?
Well, the scan you saw there is just 15 minutes, and it takes maybe 15 minutes to prepare that part of the van to do a scan. It does take a little bit of time because there are so many corners and angles and hidden places. So you need to be careful using enough targets so the scanner can find its way around. But it goes quite swiftly.
And go ahead, Klaus.
Now just you can see the magnetic strip here on the left. where I put the targets on, and I cut that into what I need. And then to the right, I have some homemade 3D printed targets, own design. With some has sticky tape, and some have magnets, and I make all kind of versions depending on what I need.
Thank you. We can go to the other slide, Maria. And now, as we dive into the post-processing within Peel.CAD Pro, Klaus will guide you through the exact workflow, and we prepare some videos to illustrate how this process unfolds.
Yeah, what I do is that I simply bring in the scans. I tend to do more scans instead of one scan. I do several scans, um, and then I clean them and finish them up, and then I simply align them and put them all together. Um, the process here has been speeded up a little bit to save time, but it's a very straightforward, simple process. I always use the target for lining up, so I just choose 3 or 4 targets on each, and then it's merged together very quickly. It never fails. It's very nice. It's very nice and easy to do.
And in the Peel.CAD Pro software, Klaus, what tool feels like a game changer, or one that speed up your workflow or simplify tasks that would you otherwise be time consuming?
Well, it comes to the basic scan process. The scanning is, of course, super fast compared to measuring or lining up. It'll take me days. So the scan, of course, it's the foundation of all of this. But after that, the way you can wrap it, clean everything up, align everything up, and merge them together is, for my purpose at this point, that's the power tool. It it handles the whole thing very precise and easy. Yeah.
And can you give me more details on the cross section or auto surfacing in the Peel.CAD Pro software, Klaus?
Yeah, when everything is put together, uh, we step into doing the sketching itself for preparing the parts for the van, and the the lineup that is also done here in in Peel. It's also very easy and to control and have everything lined up in X, Y, Z directions. So I can do the cross sections because the cross section is sort of what I need to build up the vertical parts in the van. So when we go ahead, as you can see here now, the, I lined up here. It can also be done in Fusion. For that's the software I use, but I found it much easier to do it just here in Peel.
I was
There
just
we have.
reading. Yeah, go ahead. I
No,
was
no,
just
that
looking at
that
the
was
question.
now we have the part ready for sketching.
Perfect. If you guys have any questions, please put it on the chat. I can say it while we are talking or explaining some videos. Um, James said that he also uses magnetic targets for scanning vans. Oh, interesting. And we will have you will have our contact info at the end, James, if you want to contact Klaus as well. Do you want to go to the other slide then, Maria?
Now I think we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, it just started. Yeah,
So,
now we are at the sketching process where we have made lined everything up, and I made the cross section where I wanted. and then we can start sketching the outline in order to make the wooden plates that I need. Um, the, the the lineup is fairly simple to do. Keep in mind that a van is not built in 90 degrees, so you will need a little bit of adjustment and time to level it out so you have in the right position. Also, when you do the cross section, it is important that you place them where you want them. There's always obstacles inside a van, so you need to be sure that when you decide where to do the cross section in order to do the outline sketching that you see on the screen, it can take a little bit of time and some trial and error before you get it right. Uh, and also, it's nice if you know the van that you are doing the interior for. So sometimes I do draw them in the wrong place, but it's an experience you need to learn. But the process is as simple as you see it here, and it's always the same.
We have a question here. You mentioned auto surfacing. What will be the benefit of auto surfacing for such a project? Do you know the answer, Klaus?
Yeah, I've not used it that many times, but I do know from auto service that it creates a nice smooth surface that is nice to work on and also will save you time for later on in the process. Uh, and it helps you out to give a nice surface. So when you do the sketching here, you are sure that all kind of bumps and holes are not there anymore. It makes it a little bit easier.
Thank you. And yes, by the way, for everyone is here, we are recording this session, and this session will be shared with you by email later, the recording link, so you will be able to rewatch it. Okay, so we are done with it. Do we go to the next slide?
And I think then we'll just finish that
Okay,
uh, up to see when that's the good thing. When the sketch it's fully closed, yes, you can see it changes color. That means it's closed, and you have a workable sketch that you can extrude like it's done now. And then now you have the first part of the van. In this case, it should have been moved a little bit, but this is just for learning purposes to see how it's done. It should have been moved further away from the cabin because you have some of the cabin parts. But that's how it's done, and that's why it sometimes get a little bit tricky to get. Also, you can see in the of the left of the plate there's a stopping mechanism at the door that slides back and forth when you open the door, and you need to be aware of those things so you don't make a plate in it so it'll get stuck. So there will be some adjustments and so on, and learning how to do this. But this is the basic way it's done, and then you can just do multiple wherever you want to place them, depending on what size you need and how much space you need between each plate.
great, thank you. So we now go to the CAD creation in Fusion. Klaus has prepared again a short video demonstration. He'll show you us exactly how he transferred the data into Fusion.
And this is basically what we just seen in Peel. Uh, I prefer doing it. I learned that it is easier to do in Peel. The file handling and the alignment and so on is, I don't know, it's more logical, but it works the same way in Fusion. So this can just show all of you that if you are not familiar with Peel, more than doing the scan, you can do it in Fusion. In this case, you can also do it in Inventor, SolidWorks, I guess, same, depending on what you prefer. But do the sketching and do the extrusion of the part. It's done easily and quickly in Peel, but it can also be done in this case, Fusion. Exactly the same thing where you do the cross section, you do the sketching like it was just done in Peel, and then after everything has been made and removed and so on, again, it's a bit consuming, and you have to prepare, not prepare, but compare the uh, the sketching you do with the van to see what is it actually I'm making here. Maybe it's a part of the door that is sticking in or so on, a gap you don't need. So again, it's just you need to spend time working on it like everything else. But then it's exactly the same thing. Whoopty! Now you have the first part for the van, this time done in a Fusion version, but the same.
I have a question for you, Klaus.
Hmm.
When using the PL3 system along with the software, how significantly does it reduce your overall project time compared to, let's say, traditional manual methods, if it is possible?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing here is I've seen it done by a carpenter once with a pencil and a piece of wood when he copied his outside line of his van into a piece of wood where everything was sort of kind of moved, but he did make a copy and it took forever. So doing this scan and then doing the sketching in Peel or for those who want in another software, it's done very, very quickly. It doesn't take any particular skills. It's just yeah, doing it, and then you have these parts. So without a scan, we are not getting anywhere. That's that a precise and accurate scan. It's everything. It's everything.
I know we have a question about the tolerance on such a large scan. Uh, if you can answer, Klaus, we will come back to you, James. There is the technical specification on the website, and it says the accuracy, and this is a volumetric accuracy as well. But we can, if you have something to comment, Klaus, go ahead. If not, we can come back to James later.
Yeah, that's actually one of the more also important things because when you scan, you can adjust uh, I guess it's the accuracy. You adjust whether you have to do a very, very fine scan or you do a more rough scan, but still with a high precision. And the normally peel is set to 1 millimeter, I believe. If you don't do change it, I always set it to 5 or maybe even higher because it doesn't have to be very precise for doing this. And I get that benefit. It reduces the size of the file significantly. When I do scan other things, power tools, small objects, mechanical parts, I do a very high level of accuracy. But for this, you don't have to. It's unnecessary, and you just get a file that is much smaller and much easier to handle. So I use 5. Maybe you can go even higher.
Do we go to the other slide, or there is something else we want to comment here?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
So now Klaus will walk us through the key takeaway from this project. He'll summarize the most important lessons we've learned today. Go ahead, Klaus.
Yeah, that the big thing, and that's also where it all started. I mean, I didn't came up with this because it was a good idea. I came up with it because I saw so many vans uh, that do not work as a professional van. So now you can get the perfect fit uh, of how you want it, and you can customize everything. I mean, it's just sitting down and draw whatever you want for the machinery you have, the tools you have. If you want to have a computer, a small fridge, whatever you want, you can put it in and get it exactly where you want it, as you want it. Heaviest things at the bottom, the things you don't use very often at the top. Um, and that brings me to that you can maximize your space and functionality because everything gets its own place. I learned recently from a TV program there's a rule called the one touch rule, and that means there's only one movement from when you're done using a certain tool until it's back in its designated place. So there's no excuse putting it into the van and then I'll clean it up later. No, you don't. You put it back into place, and it's always in the same place. So that's what I really like about this. Uh, and the usability for everyone is maximized. And the more time you spend on it, the more high quality appearance you can make it with small openings. I've seen a lot of men with light in and actually when you can press a button and a certain tool lights up. If you can customize it whatever you want. It's so nice. You don't have to compromise by buying something other has designed for you. Um, the the whole design process, if you get it wrong, you can just do it again or rework it or make something else. It's up to you. Uh, and the customization is you can start with a simple set of I don't know, walls through the van and then some shelves and whatever you want. And then you can just slowly, depending on that, what you find out you need or do not need, you can sort of make it more efficient and so on. And of course, it works here in the van, but it also works in your trunk of your car. It works in your kitchen. It works everywhere where you just scan and then you can, yeah, well, have fun building the things you need. And also, when we do it, if I have the scan of a van, uh, I can make it. And from my supplier that has a CNC company that makes all the wood pieces and everything is pre-drilled, everything is customized, he can just put it in a pallet and ship it anywhere in the world, and it fits right in, probably with some small adjustments for so on. But it's just like getting that you order a puzzle and then you put it together.
Thank you, Klaus. So now we are at the last section, the questions, the Q&A. Feel free to send your question on the question panel. We have some questions already, Klaus.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them are already explained by you, but let's say compared to traditional measuring methods, what are the biggest improvements you've seen in terms of fit, installation time, and overall quality?
Yeah, that depends on what you want. I know many of these systems are made in sheet metal. Um, oh, did we lose it?
Yeah, we hear you. We don't see
Ah,
you, but we hear
no.
you.
Okay. Ah, sorry, I'm back. Well, then I get far away. So, yeah, um, when you do it yourself and you have, let's say, some very heavy equipment. The guy I talked to this, I talked to a guy this morning who had some very, very heavy drilling equipment, and he had built his entire car himself. It was a big mess, but he had made it himself, and he said, "I cannot buy anything, so I had to do it." So he made it very, very strong. And for the practice we've been doing, we are using 12 millimeter wood. But if you have anything else, you can go to 20 or 25. So the good thing about this is that you make it as you want it. You don't have to buy the suppliers, the standard suppliers solution. Actually, not I think 2 weeks ago, a company I know who has some heavy stuff in their car, and they have a system from an expensive German supplier. Half of the car collapsed while he was driving because of the weight, and he he phoned us and asked us if we can do something more strong and better because it's too thin, and he cannot get it in the stronger version. So so you can get what you need depending on or you can buy. Maybe you have some from another supplier, and you can scan and make some of the parts yourself, or half the car, or one side, or whatever. I mean, it's up to you, but build it as strong as you can. Of course, there's going to be a weight problem. I mean, if you build too much and it's too heavy, the total weight of the car is gonna exceed the maximum, and you cannot have so much tools inside. But still, it's better to have your tools secure than laying on the floor or a system that collapses, like I saw.
And has adopting the digital workflow allow you to take on projects that would have been too complex, too risky, or simply not profitable using traditional methods?
Yeah, the thing about this is that uh, it will probably get more expensive than if you buy something, but the benefit is that you can get what you want in this with the strengths you need. Um, and oh, sorry, Libby, I lost it. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Has adopting the digital workflow allow you to take on projects that would have been too complex, too risky, or simply not profitable by using traditional methods?
Yeah, we have, because slowly we are convincing people that this customization is a good way to go. And now people are beginning to say, okay, we might have to try this out to see if you are better. So we do get assignments now from customers who has complicated tools, heavy tools
Mhm.
uh, that they cannot organize. And if it had, and then we just scan, and then we can do the cross section, we can do the sketching, we can
Mhm.
do the extrusion, and relatively quickly build up an idea of, is this what we want? So if it hasn't been for the scanner, uh, um, we cannot do this. It's way too complicated doing manually, and will take too much time, and it
Yeah,
will not fit. We don't have that issue now.
exact. And can this asset be reused or adapt for future band builds? I guess
Yeah,
it depends on the model.
yeah, that's the question I often get, because people say we spent so much time on your system, and then when we change when we can
Uh-huh.
throw everything out to start up again,
Hmm.
and that's not true, because all the shelving and all the special parts and everything can be adapted into the new car. The example I showed earlier was of our electrician, and if he changes car, he brings all his boxes and his power tools and everything with him. So we just move that into the new car. We do the new scan, and we make the new walls all go down, and then we just refit all the shelves once again to his need, and maybe we add more or remove some or whatever we do. So maybe 40 or 60% of what you have in the car, that is exactly what you need. You just bring on. Also, if you break something, or you just call us and I'll order a replacement part, and that fits exactly. So I would say you will save on the materials in the long run, and you can always move it around from one van to another van, or you can sell the entire system to someone, and he just take what he can use and then adapt it to his van, so it can go on, forever.
I have a good question here. If another van conversion company wanted to standardize this workflow across multiple techniques or location, how easy will it be to scale?
Yeah. Well, doing what we do the way we do it is, I don't know, it's easier is how easy it is to scale, because it's, uh, I don't have a product around that, like if you buy from the big companies, they have all these standard systems laying around. You can just order them and you have them the next day. So my my solution or my way of doing it will always be van by van by van. Uh, so it it gets, of course, can be scaled if we have people driving around with scanners and doing all this interior, but sort of huge scaling, I don't think it's possible because we don't have a standardized production. We just have the parts every single customer needs for his particular van. But it could be fun to have, you know, back to it, where people come in with new empty vans. We scan them and we sit down, talk, drink coffee, and customize the van, and then customer gets what he wants. So it's more fewer customers but better designs.
Mm-hmm. And if you had to return to your previous workflow tomorrow, what would you miss the most from what you have experienced so far with Peel?
I would never go back. No, 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 no. Now we have done this a few times, and it just works. There's no way going back. It's way too time consuming. It's not precisely not. You don't. Now I can change everything. If I can move everything around, I can redesign everything. I can make whatever people want where they want them, and the the projects we're done now, what I think it's the most exciting thing to watch is that when I ask someone how do you want me to make it, and they always say, but don't have, you have something to choose from, like a catalog. No, 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 no. I don't have anything. I just have what you want, and people are not used to that, so they all get excited and say, I can get whatever I want. Yeah, yeah. Just explain it to me. And then we come up with all crazy ideas of people say, okay, I can have this here and I can have this here and so and so. Yes, then just make it. So that's actually the most fun part. That is making it exactly like people want it. And yeah, and they can afterwards put it together like a puzzle.
Oh, great. And we do have some questions from James, but in case you have any other question after the webinar or wish to reach out, you can find our contact details in the next slide. You will have, James, you will have contact from Klaus, the email as well. Don't hesitate to reach out to him. And yeah, I don't think we have other questions, Klaus. But
Yeah.
feel free to send us your questions. We will able, if it is not for Peel, if it is for Klaus, you can find our email there.
All right.
So thank you. And before we wrap up, I wanted to sincerely thank all of you for joining us today and spending your time with us. I hope you found valuable ideas and inspiration from today's session. A special thank to Klaus for sharing your project and expertise. With that, we truly look forward to seeing you again in future sessions because maybe we can organize future sessions with Klaus to go deeper
Could be
in
fun.
Peel Pro and Fusion. So I'll let you finalize with your words, Klaus.
Well, thank you, Olivia. Well, it's been fun to sharing my way of working with the car interior, and I hope some of you have found some inspiration to go that way. Of course, it does require a scanner to start up, but that is definitely the way to go. And over the time you can save so much time, so much work, and you'll get very, very nice vans that are always nice and clean and well working. So that's definitely a way to go. So enjoy and have fun with it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day for everyone. Bye bye.